make we not talk, but thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ dódódódó. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number 1.
Let me show you something.
Lórí YouTube, Mayegun Diary.
Tí nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ ìgbà náà sun èèyàn mọ́ ẹ̀ràn jẹ́rìí àgàndẹ́ni tí wọ́n sun olú àmì tí wọ́n sún ẹ̀rọ rẹ̀ sẹ́yìn pé jẹ́ kí báyìí lára lórí sùn lára lórí wọ́n gbé tó ń gba ẹni tó ní ilé àti àwọn fáàmì ìyàwó ẹ̀ nígbà tó jẹ́ kí wọ́n kó ní ìlú ìpàwọ́ta pé sí ìlú iná nígbà fáàmì yẹn kò sẹ́ni bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìlú everybody lọ sí ìbẹ́kúbẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ everybody sí bí oríṣiríṣi ẹnìjì náà ń wá àwọn ìjọba náà ń wá but I can't go some tí wọ́n ṣẹlẹ̀ rẹ̀ dédédédé inú àwọn most of these people wá padà sí abúlé nígbà tó bá wọ lọ síwájú bẹ̀rẹ̀ ilé kan rẹ̀ pé àmọ́ lálọ́run ni wọ́n fi ṣe kí wọ́n gbé nígbè táwọn ìbọn sí ilé wọn ti sún ilé pọ̀tì wọn ti sún ojúlùdí ti di táìmù yìí ilé ti pé ó ti pẹ́ ní ẹbí nígbà ilé tásùn pé ibi ṣe lójú ẹ̀ àkàgbàgbé ọjà chop pẹ̀lú sọ àwọn nǹkan ènìyàn.
Ìgbà tó bá di lóru ló bá tó ń ka aago 8 tí wọ́n sọ fún wa pé àwọn Fúlàní ti já àwọn àdúgbò àwọn ọjà àrílàwọ̀ àtẹ̀fùpà àwọn ọmọ bẹ̀lẹ́dẹ̀ wa àwọn Fúlàní pé ká máa lọ ká káwọn ọmọ ká máa lọ a ò tí ì di àfọ̀nbẹ̀rẹ̀ nìbọn wá ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n ń yìnbọn kódà àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké tí a ní a ò lè mú nǹkan fún aṣọ níkan ìṣó làwa òbí náà láró sí lára láfikún àwọn ọmọ wa ìgbà táwa dé wọ́n pè wá pé wọ́n ti fi gbogbo ìlà ò bá nǹkan àti jíjà àti mímu afọ àwọn ènìyàn tó gbé wọn papọ̀ sáṣẹ kò sí bá kò sí nǹkan pẹ̀lú.
irú ìtààmù yẹn wọ́n ní pé wọ́n set committee pé àwọn compensate gbogbo àwọn tí nǹkan ṣe sí lẹ́yìn palliative tí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì gbé wa láti gbà yẹn àìrí anything tàfà àwọn ìdìbò kan wọ́n fún àwọn tí nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ sí àwọn tí ò ní bàbá tí ò ní ìgbìmọ̀ fún aláṣọ wọ́n fún aláṣọ wọ́n fún láwọn kankan díẹ̀ àwọn náà wá tí wọ́n fún ọ ní bí rédíò àwọn kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́ àwọn ìjìwò tó ṣe àwọn nǹkan yẹn but gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì fún rẹ̀ lẹ́yìn palliative tí wọ́n gbé wá fún àwọn èèyàn yẹn bí ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì láti ègbè láti gbà yẹn.
wọ́n gbé oúnjẹ yẹn wá pọ̀ wọ́n wá ha fún wa ṣé o ti yé bẹ́ẹ̀.
wọ́n gbé báàgì méjì wá.
olómọ́tò náà lóògù ẹ̀sùn wọ́n wá pé fún wa wọ́n ń fún ẹnìkankan ní méjì. kéékèèké ní báàgì yẹn o.
Ẹgbẹ́ ló náà wá.
Méjì.
Àtìgbà yẹn wọ́n wá.
Àtúrò nǹkan.
àwọn Fúlàní ni wọn ò kó ẹran wá rárá wọn ò kó ẹran wá wọn kàn wà ẹ̀rá torí ìjọ yẹn ẹ̀rọ̀ṣẹ̀ wá fún èfúrèfú láǹpẹ̀ ní ìgbèrò bí wọ́n àtàkì gbèrò bí èmi ó máa di ọjọ́ kejì ẹ̀rọ kọ̀mọ̀dà wá lọ́sẹ̀ ń lọ ọdẹ ẹ̀ńpẹ̀ kò ní ìgbà lọ́sẹ̀ ń lé ìgbà àwọn pé wọn láàfin àwọn máa tún bẹ̀ sí ìdúgba ara sáwọn èyí nígbà bíi 7 o'clock lọ agbẹ́rẹ́ pé wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sílé wọ́n ti ń pààyàn oríṣiríṣi wọn ò kó ẹni wá òṣìṣẹ́ ní tiwa wọ́n kàn wá attack.
Ọjọ́ kẹẹ̀ẹ́dógún là padà o. Wọ́n pààyàn sínú ilé yẹn tí wọ́n sun mọ́lé. Ìbéèrè òun ló wà níbi ẹ̀fẹ̀ náà.
Àṣẹ ní tì láì pé ní ọdún kẹta tí wọ́n máa gba àgbàgbà àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n máa gba gbogbo àwọn èèyàn jẹ́ lẹ́ka ẹni wọ́n máa rèpù àwọn èèyàn wọ́n máa pààyàn tẹ́lẹ̀ lóyè bíbí pé àwọn òfin àwọn ọmọ pé okùn àwọn olùgbà yìí àwọn ń ṣe ẹrẹ ní àjọgbọ́pọ̀ àwọn ọkùnrin kò lè dọ́gba nígbà tí pé àbàrí tí àwọn ń gbìn wọ́n á já àbá wọn fún àwọn ẹran wọn pé àwọn ilé lẹ́gbìgbà wọn afẹ́ yíyà lọ́sẹ̀ wa wá ṣe nǹkan tí wọ́n wá ṣe àdọ̀gbẹ́ sí ìjàgbẹ́ sẹ́nìtì nígbà blue time àti ìdá ẹ̀ṣẹ̀lẹ̀ kò sáàbẹ̀ tí ní ìlú ìmọ̀ ẹgbẹ̀dì wọ́n sálà fún ẹ̀mí wọn so àwọn kan sì wà ń bẹ nàìjíríà àdéhùn kan sì wà ń bẹ nàìjíríà àmú ìlú àti padà sí nàìjíríà ibi ẹjọ́ ní ilé ìsìn sẹ́gbẹ̀gbẹ̀rẹ̀ ni ló ń gbé tó ní ibi tí àwọ̀ yìí torí ẹni tí wọ́n pa yìí rájọ ní ilé ẹ̀ nígbà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yẹn sílẹ̀ wọn sára sí ibà ìlú ìtàní tí kò lè sáré dáadáa ni ó jẹ́ ọ́n ṣàkàmọ́ ìgbà ìwé ní tí wọ́n ti pa ẹ̀rọ gàdá ẹni tí wọ́n so díẹ̀ kan lọ́gbọ́n náà rí ìbọ̀lẹ̀ gan ní ẹ̀sẹ̀ wọ́n tó di dé extent tó pé díẹ̀ kéré báyìí wọ́n rí tìbọ̀lẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ gàdá ẹni ọ̀gọ̀gàn lélẹ̀.
Àṣà ni mo wà kàdá táwọn ìjọba wa ṣe fún wa nílé wa north kò sómi ní kò sí anything wọn kàn wá ń parọ́ fún wa wọ́n ń lọ wọ́n ń parọ́ fún wa wọ́n ń lọ.
Thank you very much for watching. That was the team of the Yoruba Union that traveled from Nigeria to Benin Republic. It was a journey. So when they got to Benin Republic, they told them that, oh, some of the refugees you are looking for, they have moved back to Nigeria. And they have moved back to a place called Asha, so in Yewa North of Ogun State. So they have to return back to start tracking and tracing them. And eventually we met with them. That's a glimpse of what we did in the last 24 hours. You see, we have that similar scenario that is going to take place in over 100 places, 100 schools across Yoruba land. We pull our resources together here and we decided to reach out to the victims of one Nigeria. You are going to hear more of their stories. That's what we are doing. We'll bring more of their stories straight to you. We are going to tell them that there is something better than what Nigeria is offering. And we're going to do all of this by what? By meeting every one of them in Yoruba land. Every Yoruba in their own different domain. And that is why it is an insult for any Olori Buruku somebody to turn around and claim that Tifnumbu or APC have the interest of the Yoruba people at heart. And you know something, talking about the Yoruba nation and that, today, these people were arrested in Lagos. Let me see if I still have the clip. Yeah, I do. So they are members of Ilano Omo Odua. Ilano Odua's Yoruba nation agitators. So they received a command that they should occupy, right? Because, you know, after declaration, what you go to next is going to be occupation. So they are grouping to start a daily sit-out, something that they believe is going to be their own way of protesting their disinterest in Nigeria, demanding for a referendum. They didn't commit any crime, but in Ikeja, they went there with their food, with their generator, with their, you know, and other stuff. And as they were getting there, the police rounded them up. But do you know what actually is alarming? I'll tell you. These guys have committed no crime. They've done nothing. They've not disrupted anybody. But yeah, they are Yorubas in Yoruba land, in Tifnumbu's Lagos. Do you know those who are telling the police to call them terrorists? Right now, they are the Tifnumbu Lagos Abobakus. That's what they do. And then you know what is called reverse psychology? They also love to use that too. For 7 straight years, the Yorubas are bleeding under the terrorism of Fulanis in Yoruba, in Nigeria. The likes of Tifnumbu and their foot soldiers were living in denial, even when so many of them are victims of all these atrocities, insecurity. So they denied the Yorubas because they are sucking the breast of Buhari, hoping that one day he is going to come back and hand the power over, the power over to them. So for 7.5 years, they have been throwing Yorubas under the bus, all because of what they want to get from Nigeria. Now, their election is just about 20 days away. The Yorubas who have committed no real crime, the same Yorubas following Tifnumbu are asking Nigeria to call them terrorists. Yorubas are not interested in any Yoruba nation for now. But guess what? They are indeed going to still go back to the same Yorubas they are calling terrorists because of power in Nigeria. They're going to go back to them in the next few days. When every other move is not working, then they will now look for some of their APC, Egbekegbe member, okay? And some of their Tifnumbu sympathizers in the Yoruba nation advocacy. We know them, and we know why there has been so much division because of this same Tifnumbu. So what do you think is going to take them by giving them money to stage their own protest? And this time around, police won't touch them, nobody will touch them, and they will say, because if they don't approve Tifnumbu, if Buhari continue to sabotage Tifnumbu, they are already playing the reverse psychology. They are saying that the Hausa Fulanis are planning to stage a government, what they call the interim national government, by creating crisis. There will be no election. The same thing they did to Awolowo, same thing they did to Abiola. They are about to do it to Tinubu. Are you Yorubas going to accept? What is the business of Yorubas with Tifnumbu and his friends from the Sahel? What's other than their usual one Nigeria business? What is Yoruba's business with the business that Tifnumbu had there with APC, the jihadist of CPC? It is called reverse psychology. The Fulanis are going to use you against your brother. Who is your brother? Because of election, Tifnumbu is now my brother. Tifnumbu is now a Yoruba. Abi, now anything they do to Tifnumbu, Oh, it's it's an indirect thing they are doing to Yoruba. So Yoruba should unite behind Tifnumbu. All of these push are coming soon. And that is why the people that are calling Yoruba as terrorists for asking for Yoruba nation, majority of them are going to they are going to drop the broom soon. They are going to put up the uniform of a Yoruba nation, and they are going to be using Yoruba nation to threaten the North if every other thing is not going to work. Okay? They are planning to start their protest from tomorrow. And Oju Walomashe. Take a look at this. The news and report is that this issue of money, Naira scarcity is deliberate. I have said that before. And this issue of a fuel scarcity is also deliberate because of corruption. We all know that. But it has always been, or all these have always been, sort of your problems. In October, when Emefiole made this announcement, there was none of this pressure. Probably they felt like they were covered. But here is the problem. Okay, Emefiole is a liar. He hasn't received back that money that is in the hand of the politicians. He hasn't. He quickly came back to pretend and say, from October to now, they have received 1.9 trillion from the 2.8 trillion. So they are only waiting for 900 billion naira, still in the hands of the terrorists. Now lie. And that is why the effort, did that move alone of changing your naira, recoloring it and the rest of that, just destroyed and devalued almost 3 trillion naira that these guys, these criminals, they have stockpiled. So they have to be in a rush to dispose them. But Emefiole is not releasing equivalent cash. You know, if you have stolen 3 trillion naira and you stockpiled them for years, an election is close by, you're about to start bringing them out, Abi. Then they change the naira, change the color. Now you have to rush. Number one, the value of that 3 trillion is gone, but you can recover your losses. If the central bank release 3 trillion equivalent of the money you have stolen. So at the end of the day, with your contact and your good negotiation, you can get up to 2 trillion back and lose 1 trillion because you can get, as Nigeria is right now, you can get 90% of the money released by the central bank. So Emefiole, who wanted to recover 4 trillion, he wanted to change 4 trillion, which is legal, and at the same time want to recover 2.8 trillion in the hands of criminals, Tifnumbu and gang. But he released 1.3 trillion naira new notes. Do you get that logic? Before this wahala of changing money or not changing money comes by, right? The money in the circulation, including the 10 naira, 20 naira, 15 naira, and the rest. But in particular, this 1,500, 200 naira that they changed, the higher denomination, in their calculation, they said the official one in circulation is about 3 trillion naira. They have no problem with that. The one that was supposed to be in circulation is not in banks, is not anywhere, is almost 3 trillion naira. So they concluded it's in the hand of the criminals and it's primarily for the election. So if you had both money in the hands of criminals and the one that is officially in circulation, we are talking about almost 6 trillion naira cash. So the one in circulation they want to take away from you, they didn't release equivalent, not even half of it. The one in the hands of the thieves, they release nothing to cover them. So then they corrupt Nigeria system, the banks. When they Emefiole release 1.3 trillion, like 90% of that money found their way into the same hand of the crooks. That's about 1 trillion naira. That's the first shock. Yeah. Which they probably never envisaged. But as the deadline draws closer and closer, your new Naira and the old Naira palaver, the scarcity here and there in the old chaos, they are moving in as well. Like if Emefiole is not going to fill in the gap and not let us, because normally, the plan was, yes, APC has failed, but if they pay you 20,000 naira to vote, you are likely going to forget everything you've said about them. What if they give you 100,000 naira to vote per vote? Something you've never really seen before, ever expected. And eventually, it was going to be so much that, in fact, for the first time, you are probably going to be so ashamed of what these criminals have really done to Nigeria, if you have not really been ashamed before. So if Emefiole is not going to make all of this work for them, well, fine. They will start flooding the market. They will start flooding Nigeria with these fake ones. You know, this is a fake, but you can tell this is fake, yeah? Now, you are going to see more and more of this. Just same way their custom came out today. Guess what they said? They said they have intercepted 2.8 billion fake US dollars, all for elections. So, are you with me? Now, all of this, just to make sure that they have enough, like they planned. Okay, so if you are preparing to go and collect money after making noise, shouting and everything about how Nigeria is a terrible place, blah, 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 are you with me? You might as well be very, very careful so that you don't get duped in your own greed and in your own selfishness, okay? So fake money are going to be flooding Nigeria, and these are the ones that they've probably intercepted, okay? And you might ask yourself, why are they all happening now? I don't believe in all of this, Jare. I am actually not here to ask you to believe, okay? You don't have to believe anything. In fact, you don't even have to waste your time believing it or touching it. But you know something you will never be able to deny is the fact that you heard something like this. Now you are touching fake money in large quantity for what they paid you to take your soul, to turn you to the usual renewed mumu or renewed mugu. Okay? Then you remember, look at something like this. I think that's the second one. There is another one I actually want to show you. But before I show you that, right? Talking about them flooding Nigeria with fake money, right? Look at these guys. In December, there is a group. They call them a budget. Okay. In fact, let's start with this. There's a group called a budget. Now, the group, after scrutinizing Nigeria is broke, right? And that is why Emefiole, that has been doing way and means, or what is it called? Printing free money for Buhari, APC, and the rest of them, plunging Nigeria into further debt. Now, all these debts, all this stealing and all of that, right? They are to fulfill the greed of limited few, starting with these criminals in the National Assembly, okay? So when they were scrutinizing, they realized that after what Buhari submitted to them, okay? Hang on, no, I'm trying to bring other details there so that I can make sure that all of these are fully dissected. So, just a moment. After Buhari submitted his bogus last budget, the one that they nominated, or should I say, the one that is the anointed candidate of Buhari, and that is the rubber stamp Senate President of Nigeria. So these guys, they inserted over 6,400 dubious projects into that budget. Okay. And they spread these dubious projects that they budgeted for, that Nigeria is going to borrow money for, right? They spread them across over 340, where they have all those insertions. Yes, they spread them over 300, within a 340 MDAs. That is ministries, departments, and then agencies of government. Okay. And through at least 37 ministries, the mother ministry they are called, right? And the value of those insertions is put at nearly 1 trillion naira. 1 trillion naira. Okay. Now, the way they normally share them, they call them constituency projects. Look at your screen. Okay. For example, look at this project. Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprise Program nationwide. That one will take 1.53 billion naira. What is that? What does that even mean? Another one, construction of feeder roads in rural communities in the 6th geopolitical zone, 2.6 billion. All of these have no real names, okay? No specification of which of them or what have you, right? Now, if you come back here, okay, this is how they distributed all the billions to start with, right? For street lights, they will share 114.9 billion. For boreholes, they will take 28.2 billion. Construction and furnishing of town hall, civic centers across Nigeria, 73. They will take 5.2 billion. Renovation of this, blah, blah, blah. You are following that, Abi? Now, in practice, this is what all of this you have been reading mean in practice. This one is the Deputy Senate President. Let me bring the Senate one first. Now, the rubber stamp, Lawan be this. His own share in the 2020. His own share in the 2022 budget that they borrowed almost 70% or 80% of the money, right? This is what he got. Don't waste your time thinking you're going to find all this project listed anywhere, okay? These are the same people still reminding you that 90% of northern Nigeria communities there, they have no banks because these rogues just take their own share and bail. And as, what do you call it, political buccaneers, career criminals. This is his own share. Looks lighter, yeah? See his own deputy. His own is in millions, right? In fact, let me read them out. He was going to build a solar power 150 million and boreholes, Fulani settlements in Yobe. So it's to supply tricycles for the Fulani terrorists, of course. Tricycles that they ended up having to, motorcycles and the rest. He collected around 20 million for that. Construction and installation of solar street light in Yobe, not senatorial district, 600 million naira. Construction of concrete drainages across Yobe North district, around 88 million naira. I'm not from Yobe North. People from Yobe North can tell us how much those places have been. Look at this one. Now, this one stole the maize. The National Assembly maize is today the Deputy Senate President of Nigeria. As of December, this guy collected this amount and put them together. This is like 5 billion naira. It's chicken change. Now, this one, we say if you trace, so sure you get with the document that nobody feel like, you know what I mean? Now, there are others that are duplicates in the same budget where they draw all the money, right? Now, this is what Vioma Gege collected 5 billion. The other one is Bajabia Mule. Okay. His own total is this. Okay. Those of you who are from Surulere, this is what he got for whatever he's claimed to have done, or if he's not, Well, however, I'm saying this to, I'm showing you all of this because the team that put this together, their claim is that all of this money were collected and there is no projects traced or seen to have been completed by these guys. So these are the gangs, right, that are indeed within the APC, that are telling you, okay, that there are cabals within the asshole rock that are trying to stop Kalu from becoming the president of Nigeria, and therefore to save Nigeria, okay, they are going to have to, ask you to come out in a protest so that you can help them remind their Buhari, okay, that what he is doing is wrong and it is going to affect APC, Ebekebe, in their own projected election. So that's where we started from. The other part is this one, going back to the issue of the money. So you're going to see a lot of drama. You're going to see a lot of things that are just going to make it look like a more, And if you see what do you call it? If you see those who probably will tell you that they are in spirit, they will tell you the hour has come. Yes, the hour has come. APC, Egbekebe is alerting all of us that Buhari and his team, they want to create chaos in Nigeria in order to stop elections so that they can put in place interim national government. It may sound so ridiculous to you, but it's actually true. What APC is accusing APC of. Now, if you have to get caught up in their madness, I hope, in fact, I want to show you something as well. One of the things that they indeed discovered late when it comes to this, their new Naira. I don't know if you've seen this.
So they should go and look. Yes. Look at it. You have so many new notes. Bring them down. Bring them down. You have so many. These are new notes at the back.
Yes. I want to bring them down
so load all your machines. I do not want to hear it because we'll keep continuously be checking.
Yes.
Make sure that your machines are working. So make sure, bring them out and load.
That's all.
And that's all.
This one.
You get that? And here is another one.
Yes, I'm currently at Sterling Bank Road, as part of this monitoring compliance with the guidelines by CBN. They have 6 million, which they collected from the bank for almost 2 weeks. They've not disbursed any. They said they're here to configure their ATM. I do not know why that. And I brought attention to the penalty clause of 1 million per day, because they have 5 ATMs here. And so there's nothing stopping them from keeping. They don't have any reason for keeping this money. The zonal service manager, what's his name again? Tunde Onipede promised that by 10 a.m. latest tomorrow, because I told him by latest 10 a.m. I'll be here. And I want to see this machine dispensing this money. This is, what's her name? Olumide Olabi, service manager, do. And you? Okay, my name is Uwe. I'm a deputy director of CBN, right? Bye.
So what they are now doing is that, you know what they call the damage control, all right? And the damage control now is to say, yeah, we are still not going to release all of this money. Okay, we won't. Not until after election. Can you imagine? That means you are going to be experiencing these shortages. Maybe not as tough as this, or maybe even tougher. You just never can tell. Depends on what they still have in stock for you. So then you would have to continue to experience this until April 2023. That's like 2 months away. Because from what they themselves believe, except something is done to force the hand of the hand of Buhari. Now only stoning they remain, may them stone them now. And if things continue like this, they may start stoning them instead of stoning Buhari that they have defended for so long, who committed all these crimes, all these ruins and destruction. And suddenly the man saying he won't do better, he won't leave legacy. Legacy that will cost Tifnumbu the presidency. No, it's not going to go down that way. It's not done that way. And that is why from tomorrow, okay, don't let one agbero in America or one ori daughter ori tiku alaye baje come from anywhere abroad begin to tell you that Yoruba ronu, if any one of them come around you because of Tifnubu to start telling you Yoruba ronu, tell them say ara ló máa pa wọ́n, ara ló máa pa yín sà. Ṣé yín ní rònú? You should ask them. And you know one thing I've observed as well. Maybe you haven't noticed. And if you haven't, that depends on where you have always been spending your time on social media. Let me be honest with you. You might think that the Tifnumbu APC Egbekegbe onboard slaves who are pushing the narrative of tribal this, religious that. Imagine the alailojuti shameless people turning around in defense of Kolu, a demented man, sick old man. Are you with me? They are now feeling good. Okay, they could blackmail Yorubas. Do you get that? And I'm happy, except if you haven't noticed. Today, everywhere you see the Tifnumbu, Lagos Abobaku, trying to drop any tribal nonsense. Do you know what happened? Yorubas will show up there. And they don't really have to engage them much. They just tell them, oh, Nikure. Like, they don't even want to know. Maybe you are supporting Obi or you are not supporting Atifku. But the moment you jump in, the big gotry that has blinded the Lori Bruku of them, they will attack you straight away. So the Yorubas are giving it back to them or not everywhere now. I beg. Don't tell me that. Don't attach me with a drug baron. Don't attach me with the bureau. You know what they are now doing? What is really wrong with Yorubas? What do the Yorubas want? Awolowo said they want to be president of Nigeria. Yorubas are the ones who are against him. That's a lie. Yorubas were not against Awolowo. Are you with me? Nigeria is Nigeria. Sure you get. Kijeti Baba Tomokoma Lala. Awolowo was loved for what he did. Historically, for the Yorubas. Awolowo was the one who made Yorubas never to see ourselves. In fact, you see this Yoruba that they are calling us today. That is so, like, you know what I mean? Back in the days, everybody is holding his own territory. Ijebus will tell you we are Ijebus. The Oyos are mostly those that boldly will say they are Yorubas. You get what I mean? But Awolowo was the one who used politics to start making everybody believe that once you are in the Western region, you are Yoruba. We have different tongues, different accents, but we have so many common words. And he didn't say it and start saying there, but you are Yoruba, you are Yoruba. He showed them that they are Yorubas. When Awolowo spread education, he gave it to Yorubas, everybody in Yoruba, including non-Yorubas. And that was why when you see the Egun, they will tell you we are Yorubas. It was because of Awolowo. Guess what? When he gave education to them there, when he gave this education all over the land, it produced educated, enlightened, and exposed people of that era who ended up owing that to Obafemi Awolowo. That's a legacy. What is legacy of Tifnumbu? That he created Agberos, collecting taxes. One of the worst governors between 1999 to 2007. This is a fact. But guess what? When you lie and lie and lie and lie and lie and lie again, you begin to believe your own lies. Today, it will be like the likes of Fashola were not governors. Ambode was not governor. And then the Sonwo Iku that is there today, they've done nothing. Tifnumbu actually built everything for them. Meanwhile, let's flash back to 1999 to 2007. And let them play you all the videos of what happened then. Then you realize that when you repeat lies again and again, you can actually abrogate it. And but he is the one who nominated it, but was it the one who actually did them? No, he wasn't. But he had to resort back to that. That's what he has today, isn't he? So Yorubas are giving it back to them. Don't ever attach me, and don't ever tell me that Tifnumbu is representing me simply because an election is close. I'm happy. And because we know the type of who they are, usually their stock in trade is to live in slavery and at the same time to struggle in that slavery. They have chosen that, which is good for them, but it has now come to a stage whereby they've got nothing. Tifnumbu is not sellable. Tifnumbu is something that even you as a Yoruba, if they have not blackmailed you, if you yourself want to be truthful to yourself and honest to yourself, you will look at Tifnumbu, you look at his clips, and you look at yourself and you ask yourself, is this the best in Yoruba land? Then you look around you look at the people around him, you see the thieves who have made life hell for our own people in Yoruba land, hovering around him, promising our people what they couldn't give to them, even as we speak. So you won't let them, you won't let such people blackmail you into submission. And I love that. I do. So that's why they have tried to play the tribal card by dragging Yorubas into it. You know that. It failed, and it is still failing as we speak. When they wanted to ignite tribal war between the Yorubas and Igbos to leverage on it, it failed, and it is still failing. And that is why, because of the real people that they have, violence is always going to be the final way out. But unfortunately, I don't think they were prepared for all that is happening right now. In my own view, they were not prepared. Therefore, there was no contingency plan, and that is why today, if power fail, if money fail, then we might have to go to violence and see how that goes. That's why somebody was like in my sermon today, and he said, Yoruba should just think. This Nigeria, Yorubas need to know that Tifnumbu is fighting for Yorubas. Every time I hear that word, I just want to tell that person that every time you make that kind of statement, anybody that makes such statement around you that Tifnumbu is fighting for Yoruba, and in fact, Tifnumbu being president of Nigeria is for the sake of Yoruba people. When people try that with you, they are trying to manipulate you because it's not true. 100% not true. Okay? Remember that. So this person came on that program and said, Fulanis will pay Yorubas to bring down their brothers. Just exactly like you, Mayegun, like you are doing right now. Allah. I wish Shopon wa active ni. Because we are Shopon loba mi yoju lórí burúkú yẹn. Yoju ẹ̀yẹn dànù. So you get Shopon ades are yoju yẹn dànù fún ẹ. Because you can't think of anything. When somebody believes that you can dubiously try to manipulate people by a little dose, your politics, but with a little, ginger of ethnicism, and then you play it very well. A lot of you are playing it very well. I met some Masha and Fanikon. I met some Olori Brukus, your uncles abroad. I want Shire like you, the Lagos Abobakus. I met some Olori Bruku uncles of yours in London. Very miserable people. Miserable beyond anything. So that person now said, all these things you are saying, can you say it to Kolu's face? I said, why not? But I actually know what he meant. You get what I mean? Because if I say it to Kolu's face, they will unleash violence. Instead of Kolu to respond, to reply me. If I say Kolu, shaky, demented, Parkinson, mental case, I said it. She be supposed to reply me, but Bawi, you are the one that is crazy. Are you talking to? Can Kolu she Kolu le bami jani? She Kolu go say one beat me in Abibawo. Let's be honest. So which one can you say it to his face? But you know what? Violence. What can we do about that boy? Let us go and teach him a lesson. Violence. That is all they know. If they play tribal card and it's not working, they were calling Yorubas bastard because of Tifnubu we no know him papa. And if he know him papa, know him mama, he denied them till death. He won't even talk about them. The whole world knows he's adopted by Abibatu Mogaji. That's not his mom. His mom. So who did Abibatu Mogaji adopted him from? The way we don't know him papa. His followers, because of your belly, because of your stomach, hunger, even they feel your belly. Okay? When you join them and they begin to give you the peanut, the crumbs, you begin to drink beer. You begin to burn your kidney, burn your edo and shaki, and you begin to get your stomach begin to swell up. That's a sign of good living. Honorable, I am Honorable Ajanle Koko. If not because of Tifnumbu, my life can never be like this. Tifnumbu made me. That is why we have to make sure he become president so that I can make more people like me. I have dead psychos. I have dead sick people. You can look at them. They mostly look sick. Tifnumbu made me. Tifnumbu brought me from the gutter. We have to make him president. If Tifnumbu made your papa, why don't you not pack your entire family? Pack all of them. Go meet them. Go say thank you. Should you use the destiny of your own unborn children simply because violence? They are calling Yorubas bastard because of Tifnumbu. I know my papa. I know my mama. Adeyinka grandiose. To what Lewon saying that one with the jail. It was probably be in jail till when did they send Adeyinka Grandiot to jail again? Adeyinka Grandiot sent to jail for 5 years. Okay, a tribal bigot, the worst of the worst. I remember then I said, you see, if you are for any reason, if you are sincere and honest about whatever you do, when it comes to your information dissemination concerning the establishment, you better don't have any K-leg or have any underhand dealing with them, because there is no way they won't clash. I told Yinka, and he became a madman. You remember, he was going mental. He became a madman. And you see some of these social media keypad warriors, they were praising him, praising him until he dropped the bombshell. What's the bombshell? The Yinka that came into the Yoruba's midst, right? Started planting the seed of hate, the seed of hatred, the seed of bile, and here and there. When he was done with the Igbos, and the Yoruba started saying, but Yinka, all these things don't make sense. Why you they talk like this? You're not supposed to cause all this kind of division. Nigeria is already this and that. They started as well with the Yoruba. You remember now? Most of those is echo chambers on social media. Some of them are now miserable. You don't even see them anymore. Sure, you get. That's exactly what will happen to some of you. The Lagos Abobakus that are also, you know what the bombshell that Adeyinka Grandiot dropped? He was the one who started telling these Ashiris that Ifnumbu is the leader of Yoruba land.